Hi guys, right, today I'm going to talk to you about a couple of little products from DT. Very similar to a couple of products on the market you might have heard about recently, the Kiana Carp Goo. Right, these things, or this one in particular, has been around for about 18 months, 2 years. Does a very similar job, but without the problems that Kiana has been reported with so far. Right, this one's a new one. Basically the difference between this one is a fish protein with an oil that makes it slick up. This one is a fish protein with an oil, but it also has added flavour in it to match their new R8 boilies. Very, very simple product. What you do is take it and shake it to activate it. This basically mixes the two components together. What we do is we take the take the lid off the bottle, and then we just take a tiny little bit and just plonk it in there. Now, straight away you can see that's gone straight to the bottom. With this one, because it's an oil, you can see it start to rise. And when it starts to rise, it brings up an oil slick to the top. The part with this oil slick is it then starts working in the water column. What it will do is it will sink to the bottom and then slowly release to the top. Sink to the bottom and slowly release to the top. After a little while, it becomes really apparent that you can see this working more and more. If you watch this closely, you can start seeing that the oils have started lifting up, but they've also started dropping down as well. If you're fishing PVA bags, you can cover half of this over a PVA bag, cast it out, and you can watch the area. When this eventually settles down, it sits on the bottom. When a fish comes into the area and starts moving, you start seeing an oil slick appear. Because what's actually happening is it's where the fish have disturbed the bottoms, the oils will then start to rise and fall in the water column again. Fish are curious beasts and will obviously follow scents, and these things give out an incredible scent. They absolutely stink. I just demoed this to a customer, and the customer had to walk outside for some fresh air. But that's not a bad thing, because the carp has a very, very strong sense of smell, and they will hone in on this from a long, long distance away. Personally, I can't fault these products. I've used these in PVA bags, I've used it in spod mixes, I've even taken my freezer baits when I've been using fish meals out of the freezer, covered it in this one, put it back in the freezer, and what happens is all the fish proteins and all the oils, they go back into the bait as the bait defrosts. When you take it out and put it into the lake, you can see the little oil slicks coming off of it. That's obviously going to be a massive attraction. If you're fishing over a better bait, if you put some of this on it, allow it to soak in, this is going to give your hook bait the added attraction from around the area. You can still see here that the water now has started turning a slow different colour. You can still see bubbles coming up off the bottom. This is what happens when it's sat on the lake bed. This is what happens when the fish move into the area. It's an absolutely fantastic tool if you're PVA bag fishing. Alright, it doesn't give off a bright green slick, but is that always a good thing or is it a bad thing? Who knows? It's up to you to decide. Personally, I recommend these ones. DT Baits, DNA. Get online, www.snags.co.uk, and get yourself a bottle. Take it easy.